¿Cómo estás? Konnichiwa, salam, namaste to all my friends all over the world. Welcome to Entrepreneur Extraordinaire. Folks, we have a great new guest today and we're in a new setting in Ontario, Canada. In this video, we're going to talk about the real estate market of Canada for first-time home buyers and for people who are also selling or buying. But if you want to get the tips from an expert who knows the market inside out, this is the video for you. So if that interests you, stick around for more. My friend here, investor, realtor, entrepreneur, Amer Sheikh is with us to tell us about the real estate market. Amer has extensive experience in real estate for over a decade, but not only that, Amer is also an entrepreneur. He's got international businesses all the way up in Dubai. So without further ado, I want to introduce my friend Amer Sheikh.
Thank you, Adnan, for having me here.
Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, Amer. What do you do? Who are you?
So Adnan, I've been in real estate for the last 8 years. Before that, I moved from Middle East, Kuwait. A lot of people know it as a oil-rich country.
So Amer, a lot of things are happening in the real estate market. It's pretty crazy. Don't you think so?
It is. It's the market's pretty hot here, and it's been like this for the last few years.
Yeah. Where do you think? I know this is a tough question. Where do you think is the market going right now?
So that's a question that's been on everyone's mind for quite some time. You know, you've probably been reading in the news that it's a big bubble, but apparently it's not, and the market's climbing high. Where we see it heading in 2022 is it's probably going to stabilize as the interest rates go up. But overall, it will be pretty much a balanced market. That's what we expect for 2022.
So Amer, tell me one more thing. As you were telling me in the car, we're driving, guys were seeing properties in Canada because Amer has inspired me to invest here. So tell me something about the highs and lows, because you were saying even in the bubbles, there's a higher bubble and lower bubble.
The lows and highs, what I mean is like typically in summer, or you know, there are some times in summer or peak winter when you will see not many properties in the markets. So the chances of bidding are not as high as comparing to the early spring market when, you know, the market's pretty hot. So that is a good time if buyers want to get into.
So Amer, I guess one thing that always worries me is that first-time buyers are the ones that always get killed in the market. Do you have any tips or nuggets of information you want to offer to these first-time home buyers?
For first-time home buyers, I always suggest them, if you are in the market and you're looking to purchase that first home and you have that 5%, 10% down payment that you're looking for, do not delay. Most first-time home buyers are often scared to invest in real estate or, you know, to take that first step. And that is where we are here, or I'm here to always help them and guide them to the process. If their affordability is just on to purchase a condo apartment, take that first step, get in. Because this way you're at least taking that step to get in the market than being out of it.
That's a great point. So, I mean, one of the things I would highly recommend, folks, is that you can, obviously, Amer is very, very busy, but you know, he has his assistants and other people who can also help you with loans. But definitely reach out to someone who knows the market and knows your area. Amer is just not a realtor, he's also an entrepreneur, right? So he has access to information that other people don't.
Yeah, one of the other things we do, AK, for first-time home buyers is we usually have our daily or even on weekends tours for the houses that are up for sale. So this way we take them out, show them properties which are there. And then sometimes a buyer doesn't even know to, let's say, look for a townhouse. They realize, okay, no, you know what? We prefer a condo apartment. And it's the opposite as well. Sometimes they go out to see a condo apartment and they realize our affordability meets where we can afford a townhouse, and that's where we see ourselves living.
So folks, there's an exploratory period where Amer, because of his expertise, can actually help you qualify for something that you may never thought you could qualify for. As he said, you may be qualified for a townhome, but you're really looking at a condo because you don't understand all the rates and, you know, technicalities of loan processing and so on and so forth. So Amer, my next question is, which are the key and the best cities to buy to get the most value for your investment?
AK, currently the good cities to buy are Calgary. That's where a lot of investors are going, and some great projects are coming there. You can still purchase a townhouse there for about 400,000 or less than that, versus what you get for a townhouse here, you're looking at over $1 million right now to purchase in Toronto.
Now, what about, like, do you recommend someone buy a house that's, you know, old and beat up and maybe needs some work, or a turnkey brand new property? What are your views on that?
I would say it just depends on currently the market is so hot that even if you buy a beaten up house, there are a lot of contractors lining up to purchase those properties. And that's what typically happens when you are in a seller's market, right?
Now, what about the rates? What's happening with the rates, and how do they play a role in this market, Amer? Where the rates are going right now?
2022, we are expecting the bank, and Bank of Canada has already hinted that they will be raising their interest rates. So it could be a rate increase, which typically we see 0.25, could be a 0.5. And then going on 0.25 or 0.1, it just depends, but they will be testing the market, looks like that.
So Amer, the infamous question that everybody wants to know, okay, is the market going to crash or not? The Canadian market, is it going to crash or not? You're about to find out, people.
That's a big question that we get asked, or I get asked every single day, is the market going to crash? I think the big answer to this question is I don't expect the market to crash. And that's the prime reason is we have our immigration open. A lot of immigrants coming in, especially Ontario, Vancouver. I wouldn't call it a crash, but we might get into a balanced market, right? Where we won't probably see any of these bidding wars going anymore. Versus I don't expect a crash. And
so maybe a correction, you think? Maybe a correction?
Maybe a correction, yeah. But we have seen that correction even in 2017 when the market hits its peak. And we did see a correction where, you know, and it only, I would say, affects people when people don't think and they go out and purchase properties which they cannot afford.
Now, if the correction happens or an adjustment, right? Do you expect the values to go down 10%, 20%, 30%? Is there any formula or thought behind that? Like,
typically what happens when such changes do come is currently people who cannot afford in the greater Toronto area, I would say, they go out of Toronto, like to Kitchener, Cambridge, you know, Waterloo, these areas where the affordability lies for them.
That's great. That's good to know. My other question, Amer, is that what about people who have this theory that you can rent maybe right now, sell their house, rent somewhere for a year or so, watch for the market to come down, and then boom, you know, buy your house?
We're seeing two kind of people. What we're seeing is investors or, you know, even homeowners who are taking out that 100,000, 900,000 out of that property, moving further to the rural areas where they're purchasing properties for $500,000 or less. On the other end, we are also seeing people who are, you know, coming back to your question, which is where people are selling and moving into rental properties, thinking when the market tanks down, that's when we will, you know, buy. When the market goes down, tanks down, they're just waiting on that perfect time to purchase the property.
But there's no perfect time.
There's no perfect time, exactly. Me and you, we know about this thing, folks, that there's no perfect time.
So the key is, folks, that you set a number in your mind, what rate you want to pay, what price you want to pay. And if you are in one of those camps, as Amer said, that you want to just go and rent until the properties or the market, he said, as adjust, you know, there's an adjustment in the market. If that happens, then, you know, you set a number, and once you're comfortable with that number, just go with it. Because, you know, at the end of the day, a house is an investment. You're putting your money in a place where you're going to live, hopefully long term, and make a lot of money, as we hope that you would do. So folks, thank you very much. As you heard, a lot of good nuggets of information from Amer. He's an expert in this market, in this specific market, in this specific country and region. So Ontario, I would say Amer is the king here. Please consult with him. Amer, is there any social media or other following where you want people to go and find you? Where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me on Facebook. My page is Amer Sheikh. Yeah, that's where you can find me. You can probably link my link down in the comments. Yeah.
Okay, folks, so as you heard from Amer, a lot of good tips on when to buy. Should you rent? Should you buy a new house versus old house? The market, the rates. So I just want to close this video by saying I want to thank you all. You could be anywhere, but you decided to be here with us. And what a pleasure to come to this beautiful country of Canada and talk to an expert who knows real estate market like the back of his hand. So thank you, Amer, for your time. Appreciate you so much more. Hopefully this is not the last time we're doing this. Hopefully we can do this a few more videos.
Definitely. Thank you, AK. Thank you for having me over. We'll definitely do a few more.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. A
Have a
pleasure.
good one. Bye. Bye now.